Hi guys, today I am joined with one of my favorite animals here at Earthplace, Ciao, the chinchilla. Ciao lives here with two other chinchillas. Their names are Cheerio and Aloha, but Ciao lives on her own because she doesn't play well with others. But her and Aloha both came to us in 2017 from Pace University when they downsized their animal program. Chinchillas are rodents, which means that they're related to mice, squirrels, and hamsters. It also means that their teeth never stop growing, so they need to be constantly chewing on hard things to keep their teeth nice and trim so that they can eat. Chinchillas come from South America, where they live up in the Andes Mountains. For the most part, these guys are domesticated, but there are still some wild populations up in Chile. And because they live in the mountains, they need to have really thick, dense fur. So these guys actually have the densest fur of any land animal, with about 60 hairs coming out of one hair follicle. Some people also say that chinchillas have the softest fur of any animal, and because of this, these guys are farmed and hunted for their fur. It takes about 150 chinchillas for a fur coat, and because of this, the two chinchilla species are now considered endangered. What is also special about their fur is that it keeps them safe from pests. So anything like fleas or mites that might hurt these guys, they can't get down to their skin because their fur is so thick. But because their fur is so thick, it also comes with some downsides too. So these guys, they can't get wet, because if they get wet, it takes a very long time for them to get dry again. And they can get very cold, and they can actually end up dying. So you might be thinking, how do these guys survive outside? There's rain, there's snow up in the mountains, but not where these guys live. In the Andes, it's pretty arid. There's not that much rain. There's only about 15 millimeters of rain per year, so these guys don't really have to worry about that up in the mountains. So how do chinchillas stay clean? These guys, they take dust baths. So what they do is they find a pile of dust and they roll around in it, and it keeps them nice and fluffy and soft. The dust actually absorbs the oils in their fur and from their skin, and it just keeps it nice and soft. The fur, if it's oily, it doesn't keep them as warm, so it's really important that they use these dust baths to keep their fur clean. Chinchillas are crepuscular, which means that they are most active at dawn and dusk. They are also herbivores, which means that they eat just plants. They don't eat any meat. We feed our chinchillas pellets and hay. Because in the Andes Mountain they don't have a very sweet diet, it's not very good to give them treats very often, but they can occasionally have fruit. Out in the wild, these guys have a fair amount of predators. It's mainly birds of prey, snakes, and skunks. They have a few ways to keep safe from predators. One is that they're really fast. They're really good runners, and they're super good jumpers. They can jump up to 6 feet high. They also are this beautiful gray color, and that helps them blend in with the rocks so that they can hide and run throughout the crevices without anyone noticing. They also spray their pee. So if they're confronted with a predator, they can spray their pee at them. And lastly, they have really big ears to help them sense when a predator is coming. As far as owning chinchillas as pets go, I suggest that you buy more than one of them. Out in the wild, chinchillas live in herds of 14 to 100 individuals, so they like to be with other chinchillas typically. In general, they live 12 to 20 years, so they have a pretty long lifespan, so they're a pretty big commitment. As far as their enclosure goes, it should be something that's open. These guys can have some sort of respiratory issues, so it's important that you keep the cages open for proper airflow. They also prefer the cold, so anything over 75 degrees is too hot for these guys, and they can overheat. They're also very active and playful, so it's important that you give them multiple levels to kind of jump and climb onto. Also, as mentioned before, they need dust baths to roll around in and the proper diet to stay healthy. So that's pretty much everything about my friend Ciao the chinchilla. I hope you learned a few things about our friend here at Earthplace, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again soon.